Hey there, everybody. How's it going? I think Bunny's got a little bit of a technical issue, so I'm here to introduce everybody. So we're going to bring in, where's our buttons here? I'm going to find the button so that I know what's going on.
Okay, I'm back.
And Bunny's back. Bunny knows where the secret buttons are, right? For the intro for people. I don't know.
Yeah. Everything was behind. I had to go off my phone to even figure out when the timing was. And
oh, okay.
Because it wasn't showing up. It wasn't showing up on the main screen for some reason. It didn't take me completely out. Yeah, it's just unstable as crap tonight, but hopefully we'll get through it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess since you're already here, we'll just
yeah, just bring in.
Nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
That's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Yes, and we drink heavily as well. When we're not sober.
There you go. All right. Speaking of primates, I guess we'll bring this guy on.
Abby someone.
Abby someone.
Abby who? Abby normal.
That is Mr. Primate to you, I have you know, kind sir. Too bad the bunny is muted again.
You know, he's funny when he needs to be. That good old bunny.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be a comedian.
I know. All right. Roll out the next one, buddy.
All right.
Roll out the next one.
Okay. All right, let me try this guy.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Where is he? Where'd he go? There he is.
Hey, hello everybody. How are you doing?
He lives.
Yeah.
I do. I am apparently alive.
He's here.
All right.
How's everybody
it's like
doing?
Really, I'm having trouble. It's not showing up on my screens.
Listen, you unstable service!
Something happening on my computer. It's happening here, but so you guys just got to bear with me. I mean, I'm not even seeing Cruel yet.
No problem. No, well, he's up already.
I've won it, Bunny.
Yeah, I know. I can see he's up. You know, I'm just saying I'm not seeing it here. I don't know what the heck's going on here.
We're not having any of this unstable.
Are you having a problem with your StreamYards on that side?
I mean, I must be. I had problems with Brave earlier, so I switched to Chrome last minute. And I have the same problems on Chrome, so I don't know if it's my internet provider or what.
Man, probably could be your area, maybe. Because I'm fine.
Maybe.
I got no issues over here, so.
Well, it could be
there's only like 2 people on the Wi-Fi near your area. There's only not a lot of traffic.
I know, seriously.
There's only like 4 people live in the town. Come on, it's
4 people there. And anyway, all right, buddy, we can live with it. We can live with the glitches. No big deal.
Well, this side of the town. This side of the town. Okay.
Yeah, we can
all
live with the glitches.
All right,
we'll get through this.
We'll get through this. All right.
I'm a big glitch.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Speaking of evolutionary exceptions, Wookie. But all right.
I resemble that.
Yeah, you're the missing link. All right.
Okay,
so
missing link to you.
Fair enough. Anyway. But all right, so let me play this first video. This is a rundown on what evolutionary theory is. If we're going to decide one way or another, we need to know what we're looking at, right? So let me play this.
You may recognize this image from school textbooks, t-shirts, soda adverts, and everything in between. But what if I were to tell you that if we're to be honest with the evidence that we have, this picture should look more like this? Let me explain. On the left is what is believed to be the first ape, known as proconsul, and on the right is a human called Homo sapiens. But what scientific evidence is there for everything else in this image? The transitional species. Let's find out. We'll start with Homo neanderthalensis. You might know him as Neanderthal man. Recent discoveries have shown that Neanderthal man made and wore jewelry, played instruments, used tools, and wore makeup. We've even found that his brain was the same or slightly larger than the average human living today. In other words, Neanderthal man was actually just a man. What about Homo erectus? Recent discoveries have shown that Homo erectus made tools, engaged in artwork, spoke intelligent language, and made and sailed boats. In other words, Homo erectus was also just a man. Now we'll come back to Homo habilis in a moment, but first, let me show you something. Have you ever heard of Lucy, the most famous so-called ape man, paraded in our museums, one of the very first Australopithecus afarensis species ever to be found? But what does the evidence reveal? She had a skull that was sloped and ape-like, nothing like human skulls, fingers that were curved, not at all like human fingers, toes that were curved, not at all like human toes, wrists that had the ability to lock for knuckle walking, and a knee structure that was compatible with life in trees. So Lucy and her kind swung from trees and looked like today's apes. Lucy is an extinct type of ape. As we've just seen, Homo sapiens, Neanderthal man, and Homo erectus were all men. Australopithecus afarensis and proconsul were both apes. Considering the ubiquity of the evolutionary icon, we'd really want to see some strong evidence for Homo habilis, the pivotal point of transition between stoop ape and upright man, between basic instinct and intelligent thought, between animal noise and intelligent speech. The only problem is, in the words of Ian Tattersall, Homo habilis is a wastebasket taxon, little more than a convenient recipient for a motley assortment of hominin fossils. Other scientists referred to him as a garbage bag because the bones we have for him are a mixture of human and ape bones. In other words, Homo habilis never existed. I think evolutionary professor Bernard Woods sums this up well. Our progress from ape to human looks so smooth, so tidy, it's such a beguiling image that even the experts are loath to let it go. But it is an illusion. With the lack of evidence and agreement on the ape-human transition forms, why is this not happening? Or this? And is a better explanation that man and apes have always coexisted and reproduced according to their own kind, as stated in Genesis 1.
Gee, I wonder what the answer is.
Well, so that's pretty much it all seems to come down to mankind, ex-wives. How do we get those? Okay, all right, okay, I get you. But anyway, so
Hey.
so the problem seems to come in
Hello.
when evolutionary. Sorry. What's that?
I'm saying hello to Coco Shuko Papa Shango.
Yes.
Okay.
You may continue.
Okay. I'm hearing the video in my earphones, so I can't. So.
Cool.
Ah.
All right. Anyway, let me play this other video because I'm hearing the previous video in my earphones.
Okay.
and I
Get stuck
can't.
in a loop.
I can't. Anyway, so let me. This video here, actually an animated. Okay, this is actual an animation of what they think is going on with evolution. So let me play that. Play for me.
Oh well, that clears all that up then.
Okay, well, okay, so that's what they think is going on. What you're looking at is since 18. Let me get the exact date here. Since 1859, when *Origin of the Species* was published by Charles Darwin, they have been trying to prove this theory. Okay, and now most of the time when you have a scientific theory, anybody know the method to proving a theory? Anybody know the method? Anybody want to fill that in?
Carbon dating?
Nobody.
Carbon dating?
No, the method itself of the scientific method is this. Okay, you
Proof?
start with a premise. You start with a right. You start with a premise, but then you you go back and you essentially do your best to prove the premise, okay? And
Right.
it basically, if it doesn't prove, basically you basically collate the data, and hopefully it proves your premise at the first, okay? But if it doesn't prove your premise, do you adjust the data, or do you say, okay, this premise was a bad premise? According to the scientific method, what do you think? Am I on a delay here?
A wee one.
Am I delaying?
Just a little bit, yeah. Just a wee bit.
Okay.
One assumes.
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize.
One assumes that you would go back and twiddle and tweak some things and see what you come up with. Do more detective
But
work.
that's the thing. That's the thing, though. You don't twiddle and tweak the data. If the data doesn't prove the premise, according to the scientific method, if the data doesn't prove the premise, then you go with the data.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. And so that way you can be sure that if you prove something, and there's a really used to in science, there used to be a really high bar that you had to clear. Basically, you prove the premise in multiple ways, and then somebody else had to go and they had to get the same results that you do.
Yeah, you need a control.
You need a control, right? Yeah. And they have to get the exact same results that you do. And even then, basically, then you send it to a peer review. And they look at the data that you guys have acquired or that you've scraped together, and they will decide if your method is sound, and that if your premises are sound, then you have proven the premise. And then, only then, will they say, this is proven. Now, with evolutionary science, evolutionary theory, okay?
Theory.
Nothing. Yeah, theory. Okay? It's still a theory.
You mean you don't know?
Exactly. So since 1959, scientist after scientist after scientist has been attempting and collating information. Trillions of dollars has been sunk into proving that this premise is correct. Trillions. And there's warehouses full of fossils.
Right.
And there's been paleontologists have been whacking off on this since 1859 to prove that this exists, that this is a fact. This is the way it works.
Hey, Wally, we've got nothing. What do we do? Oh, just make up some shite.
That's basically. On that note, one of the biggest turning points for evolutionary theory to be taught in schools was the Scopes monkey trial. Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
Okay. A teacher was basically slipping evolutionary theory into his science lessons. And the school board hit the roof and attempted to fire him. And so he got the world famous lawyer, Clarence Darrow, to come and be his defense lawyer. And William Jennings Bryant, a former congressman, was the prosecuting attorney. And basically he became the court the attorney in the court. Okay, he was the prosecutor, but then he basically prosecuted the case, which is like highly irregular. And a lot of people think that he was already senile at that point. And so Clarence Darrow, this really sharp lawyer, who had basically cut his teeth on like union law, and like doing he was known for his closing statements where he could turn a case on its ear. He was just a brilliant speaker, brilliant orator. And they on the other side they had William Jennings Bryan, who was practically senile at this point, was way past his prime. And they brought him in, and he had and it was just a complete farce. But one thing that they kept bringing up was this one fossil that they kept bringing up. Okay, let me play this real quick.
During the trial, they started to present evidence for evolution, and one of the pieces of evidence that was being offered pretty regularly then was something called Piltdown Man. It was a complete fraud. There was a person who basically took this jumble of other fossils, including a tooth from an extinct pig, and then kind of put it with other more modern human remains and kind of painted them and kind of claimed to have found them all in one spot when he didn't, and then kind of said, oh, this is Piltdown Man. This is like the missing link. Respectable scientists kind of just swallowed that hoax whole and just thought it was all true. And at that time, people thought that, and creationists were saying, you know, I don't know about that. Is that really the missing link? We're not sure. And it turns out that the creationists were correct. And of course, it takes many decades for people to figure that out. But that's examples of the sort of evidence that was being put forward for evolution at the time. A lot of it ended up being proven to be fraud.
I saw that before we came on, yeah. One of the great things I heard about the debunking of evolution was, well, if mankind evolved from apes, why are there still apes?
Right.
Well, see, that is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you saw, sorry, 1 second. Okay, but you saw during the evolutionary like animation, you saw several names pop up that we are currently alive today. But they've used them to plug in these holes. Okay. Now we're I don't know where Wookie is. What the hell is Wookie doing? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Is it
I'm here. I'm here. I'm eating. I'm eating. That's why.
Why are you eating?
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. That's why I had the mic off.
Buddy, you did call him the missing link. So
yeah,
we got that, you know.
Okay, well, I guess he's proof that I guess he's proof that evolution might have a point. Okay.
Well, I'll say this about Wookiee. I think it's more de-evolution than evolution.
I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
De-evolution theory.
Fair enough. All right. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, you're right, B-Dog. That is what Wookiees do, evidently. Okay. All right. Well, evidently, Wookiees, while he's eating, he's like chatting away. So there you go. He's not highlighting anything either.
I'm being respectful, so you're not listening to me smack and chew and burp.
Well, at least highlight some comments. At least highlight some damn comments while you're at it.
I will.
Put them on the screen to work, damn it.
Okay, there you go.
Imagine him highlighting that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's only bring up my comments. Okay. All right.
It's all about the Wookiee.
Yeah. Okay. So we say 7 o'clock. Okay. This is when we're going to do our show. So he waits till 7 to start eating, and oh, by the way, he decides to highlight his own comments. So it's all Wookiee. Why are we even here?
Well, he is 56 years old, and he gets that early bird special.
Well, yeah, I guess he does get that senior discount, doesn't he?
He does.
Anyway. All right.
Yes,
there you go.
I do. At Golden Corral.
Talk about feedback. Jeez. All right.
Num.
Okay. So we're So what we're talking about here, okay, according to scientific method, like I said, basically you start with the premise, which is what Charles Darwin's Origin of Species is. Okay. Now, the way he came up with this was that he was on a trip and he came across this place called Galapagos, I think. Yeah, Galapagos.
Galapagos.
And
Galapagos.
Galapagos Island. Galapagos.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, okay. All right. Galapagos. All right. Like I said, Galapagos. All right. Anyway, so he visits the island. Yeah. So anyway, he visits the island. That's a kind of fish. But anyway, he visits the island. Okay. And while he's on this island, he notices these species that he's not seen anywhere else. And so he's like, well, this island is like a isolated area. It's isolated from the mainland. And so whatever came here, whatever started here, I mean, whatever's here probably started here and grew up here and came from somewhere else. So he came up with this whole evolutionary theory as to why this closed island would have species on it that were entirely different from everywhere else. And so he never, basically all his entire life from that time on was to try to prove this be correct. And he had a lot of disciples because a lot of people wanted to take creationism down.
Right. Yeah.
And creationism up to that point was creationism was basically God created, in the beginning God created heavens and the earth. Up to that point, creationism was what was taught. Creationism was what assumed. And basically this there you go. Grossly outdated, right? And so he had a whole bunch of these guys, and there was a ton of money that was sunk into this. A ton of money. Suddenly, this guy who was on the brink of bankruptcy was like lousy with money, enough that he was able to set up his own institute. He was able to pay a bunch of scientists to and send them all around the world to try to prove his premise. And now, all he needed to prove his premise was basically one thing. He needed to prove that there's a link between one state and another.
Right.
That's all he needed, was like to prove that the life began as this and progressed to this, to this, to this. Now the problem is there's a lot of speculation, but they weren't able to prove that there's a missing link.
Mm-hmm.
And since 1859, they've been trying to prove this. Now, the way they've done it is they chose mankind and ape.
Right.
And because mankind and ape have so many similarities, they're saying, well, this must be the primitive form of mankind. And is prove that they were like, they started out here, and then there's these intermediate steps, and then it became what we are today. And that will prove the theory.
Basically, what you're saying is the monkeys were trans.
Yeah, I guess I am saying that. Thank you, thank you. You just got my channel struck. Thank you for getting my channel struck. All right.
That was a good call, Kroll.
What was it like?
Yeah, what's unique here? He didn't have a channel. Anyway, okay. Well, but anyway, so they have all these bones of these like ancient people, right? That they keep like trying to say, like the Pithecus. But the big one was they found the skeleton of what they believed was a little girl. They called her Lucy. Okay, her picture is like right here. Okay, right there. Now the problem is, why does Lucy look like Don Cheadle?
Because they're racist.
Evidently. But
oh no.
All right. Well, I'm just saying that every time they do like a recreation of a skull, you can find somebody walking the earth today. Yeah, exactly. See, I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. Okay, but every time they like do a recreation of one of these skulls, they exist. You know, when they come out with their recreations and everything, it looks like people that are walking the earth today. But they're trying to say, oh, this is the missing link or whatever. And the way they get away with it is something called.
Go
ahead.
Do you think they contacted Don Cheadle's agent? To use his likeness?
Yeah, doesn't he get a royalty? Come on.
Well, she's supposedly like thousands of years old. Okay, not maybe hundreds of thousands of years old, according to that.
It looks like he's in his 50s.
No kidding. The same age as Don Cheadle.
Anyway. Well, okay. So the problem is the primary instrument of paleontology, the primary instrument of that's not used in any other science branch to date all of this stuff is something called carbon-14.
Yes.
Now, carbon-14, I mean, carbon dating is like it's used, it's very sparingly in pretty much every branch except for paleontology, which in paleontology and archaeology and the people that are trying to prove that the Earth is millions of years old, carbon-14 is like their Bible. Like I said, grossly outdated, right? So no other science branch uses carbon-14 to date anything beyond a couple thousand years old. Because carbon-14 is a radioisotope that's available that appears in carbon that degrades over time.
Okay.
Able to explain, there's papers on this. You can find them everywhere, but they've never to explain why carbon basically after a while the radioisotope becomes ineffective. What?
Your peppers. We need to see your peppers.
What are you saying, Wookie? Oh, hell.
Continue on, sir. Thank you.
We're not going to do this to me this time. Okay. All right. Anyway, so carbon-14 basically it becomes undetectable after a few thousand years.
Okay.
And yet they're using it to carbon date things that they're saying are millions and millions of years old. Okay? And that's there's entire papers on this, so why carbon-14 is not reliable beyond a few thousand years. And a lot of people don't consider it reliable within that time frame. It's a technology, technology.
But it counts when they do it, though. It only counts when they do it.
It counts when they do it. It counts when they do it. Mm-hmm. But this technology was first detected in, I think, 1920s. And it really hasn't progressed that much in all that time. And yet they still use it, and it's still their Bible. Okay?
Right.
It's like when they carbon dated the Shroud of Turin. And it's like, see, it's been carbon dated. It just dates back to the medieval times, you know. And so all the press, all the media is like, well, see, it's been debunked. It's been debunked, you know. And because carbon dating is like they consider it the Bible when they want it to prove what they want it to prove.
Right.
Okay. And
who needs carbon dating when the mainstream media spew some things you know is crap?
Exactly. Or when the Smithsonian's willing to create entire museums. And when the Smithsonian's Museum of Natural Art and History is willing to create entire displays explaining why evolution isn't theory.
He said the S word.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
The Smithsonian.
The Smithsonian, yeah. But anyway,
The Smith Totalitarian.
yeah, we won't talk about what they're up to, what they've been up to the last few years. But anyway, so let me play this. Let me play this right quick. It's the last clip here. Here we go.
And this is the same problems with radioactive dating and carbon-14 dating. How is a rock like an hourglass? On the left we have what are called parent isotopes, and on the right we have what are called daughter isotopes. Carbon-14 is a parent isotope, it's radioactive, and it's unstable, and it changes into nitrogen-14 over time. It has what's called a half-life. Now, scientists will try to date different rocks and fossils using these different radioactive isotopes. Let me explain how it works. With carbon-14, an animal takes in carbon-14 by eating grass. The grass has carbon-14 in it, and the grass then goes into the animal and it has carbon-14 in it. Over time, animals keep taking in carbon-14, but when they die, they stop taking in carbon-14. All the while, the carbon-14 is changing into nitrogen-14. But once they die, they're no longer adding carbon-14 into their system. So theoretically, you could say that a dead animal that has a whole lot of nitrogen-14 in it has been dead a lot longer than a dead animal with just a little bit of nitrogen-14 in it. And this is how they use radioactive dating. They say, if I have a rock that has a whole bunch of a daughter isotope in it, and I have another rock that has a lot less of a daughter isotope in it, then the rock with more daughter isotope is older than the rock with less daughter isotope. But what's our problem? Remember the three assumptions we talked about with the hourglass? Assumption 1, the amounts of parent and daughter isotopes at the beginning when the rock formed must be known. That means you have to know your initial conditions. How much sand was in the top of the hourglass when the hourglass started running? The problem is you don't know what the initial conditions were. A rock may have a whole bunch of the parent isotope, or it may have a little, or it may have a whole bunch of the daughter isotope, or it may have a little. You don't know. Assumption 2, all the daughter atoms measured today must only have been derived by radioactive decay in that rock. There can be no contamination that took place, but in reality, daughter isotopes will leach in and out of a rock. So water will bring daughter isotopes in, making the rock look older than it actually is. Assumption 3, the radioactive decay rate must have been constant at today's measured rate, a constant decay rate. The problem is we've only been dating rocks and fossils for about 100 years using radioisotope dating. So how do we know that the rate has been consistent over billions of years? We don't know. These are three assumptions that literally cannot be known. None of these assumptions are provable. The past cannot be observed and measured, so these assumptions are not even reasonable. Daughter atoms may be inherited when rock forms, and subsequent contamination is common. This makes it impossible to determine the age of the Earth based on radioisotope dating. There was an 8-year creationist research project to investigate radioisotopes and the age of the Earth, and it concluded that assumption 3, that is a constant decay rate, is absolutely false. They found that you can change the rate of decay based on the environment in which the isotopes are located.
All right, good stuff. Hello. I guess they do. I don't know if they've got an hourglass figure, though. Have they got an hourglass figure? Oh, yeah. Well, you never know.
I don't know.
You never know.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. You're muted. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You're muted again.
Mutation.
Somebody needs to give StreamYards a good slap.
Yes.
Or the microphone. I don't know which. Oh, Bunny's gone. He's maybe jumped off to come back on again. Tech issues, people. Tech issues. Hopefully we can
Always
sort
tech.
it out.
Yes. Yeah, he's got an issue
Yeah.
on his with his internet service provider. I don't know what it is. They might have a low bandwidth or something. So he's trying to.
You'd think moving into the new place they'd have better service.
Yeah, but depends though. It really depends. I mean, it could be great one day and it could be shit the next day. It really depends on what kind of lines and stuff they've got running in that place, running around too. So yeah, I mean we've gone through a couple different internet providers, and the very first one we had it was great, and then it was awesome. It was cheap and expensive, and good customer service. But then when we moved, we kept the service, but then we got shit service because it was mostly like a line of sight type of thing. It was not satellite, it wasn't cable. But yeah, it worked on line of sight with their tower, and so we had to change cable. So, but hopefully Bunny's system, the company out there will get a little bit better.
Oh, you'd think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm considering doing the whole Starlink thing at some point. So.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go.
I mean, that probably would not be a bad investment.
Okay.
For you, Abby, that wouldn't be a bad investment because that's something you could.
There we go.
So do we anything while I was gone?
No,
we were just talking about technical difficulties in suck internet service.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. All right. So, I guess we lost most of also our viewers here. Anyway.
Well, we still got 22.
So, all right. So, carbon-14 is bunk, and it's been debunked in so many different ways. But they speak of it like it's gospel. And if you look at any video that proves the evolutionary theory, take a drink every time they talk about carbon-14 dating, and you will be you'll be in Abbey land before you know it. Okay.
What?
I mean, one other thing as well. One other thing as well. If we've all like evolved from monkeys and so on, how come we haven't evolved any further then? I mean, I want a pair of wings. I want to fly about.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Where's the mutations at? Why aren't we all?
Why is humanity not evolved for thousands of years then?
Well,
there you go.
The one thing that for me, for over the decades I've been on this rock, I've always wondered, why is it that they claim the dinosaurs all died out? Yeah.
Okay, Andy Rooney.
Well, yeah. What? No, what I'm saying is that the dinosaurs all died out. They claim that, but yet you still have eyewitness evidence of flying pterodactyls or pterosaurs. You still have people down in South America or parts of Africa still claim that there's freaking brontosaurus-looking dinosaurs running around. You've got clay figures that were discovered in caves in South America of people, the indigenous tribes, riding dinosaurs, or pictures that they've made of these creatures alongside humans. But wait a minute, if they've all died out, how the hell did these people, these primitive tribes, know what these creatures look like in very good detail?
Well, when we were talking about this earlier, one of the reasons why we decided to have the show is we were talking about the fact that countries that have no like reptiles whatsoever have like dragon lore.
Yes.
And you see it all the time where you know, that they always talk about one thing. They always talk about, well, it's like, well, if there's these giant creatures existed, then what happened to them? And they always talk about a cataclysmic event.
Right.
But it's not a flood.
Yeah.
It's like, it was an asteroid that hit, or, you know, climate change. It's, you know, that's a new one.
I
was actually watching this.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No? Okay.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
All right. Well, okay. Well, there's a new one that I saw this before while I was looking through these videos. This one where this guy was complaining that the reason why carbon-14 is like losing its accuracy, it's because of mankind's using fossil fuels. And that we're like polluting the sources that the carbon-14 uses to measure with our fossil fuels. And so that's their excuse for how inaccurate carbon-14 is.
Yeah.
So they're blaming it on basically mankind.
Let's cancel fossil fuels then.
Cancel fossil fuels.
Well, that's what the guy was saying. He's like, well, we need to cancel fossil fuels, or we won't be able to use. He actually said that. He said we need to cancel these fossil. He said up till recently, when he said there was like people making strides to improve this situation, but now we're back to using fossil fuels. In other words, you know, he was all on board with us, you know, destroying all the old capacity and stuff like that. Right. But basically, the carbon-14 people have yet to explain why anything before the Krakoa volcano went off is not inaccurate. Because but they were saying that you know, a high pollution of carbon is going to cause inaccuracies. Then what about Krakoa going off and basically changing the whole entire temperature of the planet worldwide,
right,
and spewing that much carbon into the atmosphere? And so wouldn't that just completely destroy any carbon dating from before that time, according by your own measurements, right?
Right.
Well, there's also this thing that's about 12,000 years ago, called the Younger Dryas event, which was either an asteroid or something detonated in the atmosphere that caused flooding and complete devastation in a wide part of the earth. So, but you know, it did cause flooding. They've got evidence of that. They claim through the layers of earth, there's certain sections, and they've classified them. Well, that kind of correlates with this quote unquote Younger Dryas event. So it's very possible that these, you know, that the carbon could have been destroyed or contaminated. Then, hell, the freaking dinosaurs could have been taken out then, or the most of them. That's only 12,000 years ago. It ain't 12 million years ago.
Well, there's actually a technical term called antediluvian, which means before the flood. And so they acknowledge that there was a flood, a massive flood sometime, but not that flood.
Not that one. No.
But
Yeah,
there was a flood. Okay,
but not that one. So our stuff is correct.
Of course not.
not that one.
We wouldn't want it.
No.
We wouldn't want it to be that one.
No, of course not. But anyway, so there's also the evolutionary theory also flies in the face of their genetics itself. You cannot add genes to any being and cause it to transform into something else.
Okay.
So if you're saying that something went from one state of being and then transformed into something else entirely, the only way that happens if genetic information was added to. So they're trying to say we went from a single cell organism to what we are now. And the only way that happens is if you add genetic material and genetic code into something to transform it into something else.
Yeah. It was the aliens. The aliens did it.
When that happens in humans, okay, well, there you go. Put on your tinfoil hat and, just stay down there. Anyway, okay. You know what happens when extra genetic material gets added into any living creature? You know what that's called?
Monkey? A 5-ass monkey?
No, it's called cancer. That's what it's called. Cancer. Okay?
Not a 5-ass monkey then.
No, not a 5S monkey.
I had cancer.
Adaptation and breeding is not evolution. Exactly.
So much for that South
Well,
Park,
that's what yeah, there you go. But that's exactly what Darwin was seeing. He was seeing adaptation and breeding, and he was calling it evolution so he could basically take a chunk out of creationism. Chernobyl stuff usually happens, right? Yeah, Chernobyl should have damaged carbon-14. It's really... Oh, exactly. That much radioactive material, it should have just destroyed carbon-14.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, so...
Would have also destroyed a lot of the mammals
so basically,
and fish.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Right, exactly.
It actually, they adapted to it, but they didn't change them. They didn't have like 3 eyes and 7 legs.
No.
Right. Well, there is actually one being. There's actually one being that is technically dead, but still operates, and that is a virus.
Oh.
And so the virus is they tried to point to viruses and say that that's an evolutionary link or whatever. And part of studying that has caused bad stuff to happen. As a matter of fact, them tried to use viruses to prove evolutionary theory has caused something called gain of function research.
Where have we heard that before?
Yes, the Fauci ouchie.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's the vaccine. The vaccine. But anyway, so I heard pigs evolve into bears really fast. Right. But yeah, so nowhere else in any the animal kingdom, nowhere else in any observable living creature, including plants. I mean, you can't graft a plant outside of a phylum onto another plant from a different phylum and have them grow together and do something new. They can't do it. And technically, if all of life was like in flux, like evolutionary theory declares, then you should be able to take an apple and an orange tree and create a hybrid fruit out of it. And you can't do that. So, you know, I mean, there's different variations of the same thing, like different variations of apple, different variations of pear, and you can crossbreed within the same narrow sliver and create something new.
I was waiting to say, because you've got like lions and ligers and tigons and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't reproduce.
No,
they can't reproduce. Yeah. A mule can't reproduce. And so that kind of ruins that. Actually, I mean that's ruins it right there. That ruins evolutionary theory right there. So because basically, if something was able to create a different variation of itself, then if it can't reproduce, then it can't pass that on. It can't become its own different kind of species, right?
If I'm not mistaken, any fruit or vegetable that is stamped GMO, genetically modified organism, doesn't like with fruit, like if it's a GMO apple or orange or watermelon, they don't have seeds.
No,
they don't have seeds.
They're not heirloom.
Yeah, they're not freaking natural. They've been, like I said, the GMOs.
They were trying to produce a lot more fruit that doesn't have seeds. I know that.
Oh yeah, they don't want you to freaking be able to grow your own.
Yeah. Well, but that's genetic manipulation. That's not evolution. And so basically everything is basically a dead end, except the fact that they're teaching this to school children as fact. I know because it was taught to me as fact. And yet, while they're teaching it as fact, as they're teaching it as fact, they always are careful to say evolutionary theory. Theories have to be proven or discounted.
Right.
There's no middle ground. You either prove a theory or you discard it after a period of time. And this is the scientific method. Okay? Like I said at the beginning, you have a theory. You collate the facts. If the facts prove the theory, then you have somebody else replicate it. And if they replicate it, then you have a third party look at your data, determine if both of you are full of it or not. And if you're not, then they will declare your theory as fact. Okay? But with evolutionary theory, they got Charles Darwin post his theory. It's called Origin of the Species. Billions and trillions of dollars later, and thousands, hundreds of thousands of scientists and untold millions, possibly billions, possibly trillions of man hours have been sunk into proving this theory. It's all damn bullshit. Okay,
that might be a very good hypothesis.
Yeah, I like that.
That's actually my hypothesis for tonight. Anyway,
I approve that message.
There you go.
I approve.
Sounds factual.
There you go. There you go. Wait. So essentially,
hardcore
this
approved
theory, right? This theory hasn't even gotten to the next step. It's never even been proven far enough that somebody else has picked it up and tried to replicate it. They've just said, okay, well, we can't replicate it, but trust me, bro, it's true.
Here's something too, and this pretty much is something they don't want to talk about, but our good old fishy friend called the coelacanth that was supposedly died out 10,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago, whatever. It was extinct, and we found they have fossils of this creature in dry, old ocean beds and shit, and so they dug it up and put them in museums. And all of a sudden, the 1930s roll around, someone's out fishing, and holy shit, they pull up this freaking fish that's got legs on it. And they look through some books and they find out, holy crap, this thing's not supposed to exist. Why? Yet they got a live one right there. Well, dead because they caught it, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
There's been pterodactyls. There's been pterodactyls captured in the 20th century. They found trilobites, which have supposedly been extinct for millions of years. And they found some.
Yes, they did.
Of course, they tried to destroy them.
Oh, of course.
Immediately tried to destroy them, but
Smithsonian.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing about it is so we have a theory here that has been they've been trying to prove since 1859, and they have thrown the world at this thing. There you go, right? But they've been throwing some things. I mean, throwing billions and billions and billions of dollars, resources, and man hours. They got museums full of fossils that disprove the missing link, and yet they still teach it to children because they don't want kids looking into creationism.
Well, yeah,
hey, come on, maybe they'll work out.
It's a matter of money.
They'll maybe work it out next week.
Yeah, right. It's a matter of money. These organizations, such as the Smithsonian and other museums, need money, and the only way they're going to get money and retain money is to basically come up with some great bullshit story to basically, flim-flam people into believing by way of false information in school. So if you get them young, then you can kind of grow them up to the way you want them to think. Okay.
Well,
and
let me tell you how this has affected humanity. If we are descended from apes, if we're essentially basically evolved animals, then we can't be held responsible for following our instincts. And so a man can stab a girl to death on a Charlotte train on August the 22nd, and they could still carry water for that jackass who they put back on the streets 14 times and say, well, he can't help it. He's an evolved animal. He's just following his instincts. How can we blame him for following his instincts?
Right.
And
there you go. Yeah.
Well, besides, he got blood on his hoodie. She put blood on his hoodie. You know how hard it's going to be for him to replace that? Anyway, sorry.
How dare she bleed
it's a subject for me.
No, I totally
how dare
agree
she
with
bleed out on his hoodie?
Yes.
No, I saw the footage. I saw the actual footage of that. It was horrible. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
it happened. It happened an hour from me that way. It happened an hour from me that way, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And so I could have met her.
The mainstream media. The mainstream media has been transformed into the propaganda arm of not just government, but of elitists. They want to, if they brought back the Smith-Mundt Act, it would probably solve a lot of the bullshit we've been dealing with over the last 12 freaking years. Because they're lying to us.
I mean, the thing about it is they were lying to us before it just wasn't legal. Yeah, it just wasn't legal. But let's don't go too much into political weeds here. We're talking about just humanity in itself. Is that they have deconstructed humanity to the point that people are allowed to act like animals, and they're excused.
Yes.
and
Right.
because we're not higher
Right.
life forms, we don't have a spark of life within us, and so you can abort us all you want, and it doesn't matter. It's a clump of cells, because evolutionary theory says we came from a clump of cells. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
this theory.
It's like the Stardust theory and all that shit, isn't it? Yeah, we are from Stardust.
Exactly.
All that crap.
But for evolutionary theory to be right, then that means that everything you see around you, look around, all that you see came from nothing.
Yeah.
Because there was
Look,
nothing.
My
and then
butthole came
suddenly,
from nothing.
yeah, there was nothing, and then suddenly there was something. That is evolutionary theory. All of this came from nothing. It just suddenly became something at some point out of random happenstance.
Spontaneous evolution.
And millions and millions and millions of years of this thing that happened. Trust me, bro, it happened to get us to this point. We just can't prove it, but we will prove it in the future. So because we're so sure we're going to prove it in the future, we're going to teach it as fact now.
Yeah.
Or
Because they want it
maybe,
ingrained in your
or
head
maybe we're all just maybe we're all just programs in a holodeck simulation.
Shit. We're in the Matrix.
Don't go Elon Musk on me. Don't go Elon
I'm with
Musk
Cruel
on
on this one.
Anyway. Anyway. Okay, so I mean think about the breakdown of society we're seeing right now. And I mean, some kid thinks that they can just murder the shit out of somebody they disagree with, because why does it matter? We're all a bunch of evolved animals anyway.
Right.
And I disagree with him. I can look through a deer rifle and murder him in front of his wife and kids. This is all coming from the same thing, the dehumanization of all of us. And we're getting taught this crap in elementary all the way up through high school. I had a teacher, a science teacher, when I was in middle school that loved to find somebody that was pro-life and ruin their day. She loved doing it. And this was back in the 80s. And I can't imagine how much worse it's gotten since then. And seeing some of these
how do you
people.
explain doctors say it's in the Planet of the Apes?
It's a madhouse! Madhouse!
Explain me that!
Take your hands off my topic, you damn dirty ape. Right. Anyway.
Dirty ape.
Okay.
Hey, I want to remind everybody who's watching, listening on whatever platform you are, please come over to either my YouTube channel in the chat and participate in the poll, or Bunny's YouTube channel and participate in his poll, please. We would greatly appreciate it. Now with our regular scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what they're teaching kids in school now.
Smithsonian.
Oh, they passed a bill here in California where anybody can go to the school and sign a paper and take your kid out of school for no reason. Don't have to tell the parents either.
What the hell kind of kidnapping is that?
No, just it's Governor Hairdale at his best.
Oh,
Yeah.
he does have nice hair. Come
Okay,
on.
so we got 5 votes, 2 for debunked, 2 confirmed, and 1 for in the middle. Okay, who's debunked? Maybe they misunderstand the question. Evolution is a hoax that's debunked. Okay, maybe they misunderstood the question, but anyway, I got 2 debunked, 2 confirmed, and 1 in the middle. All right.
I got 1 debunked and 1 confirmed. That's weird.
Okay. So like debunked and one in the middle. Okay. We're going to start with Wookie. What
Wait
are
a
you thinking,
minute.
Wookie?
Wait a minute. Seabiscuit came up on the outside and overtook the other guy. So now we've got 2 that are confirmed and 1 debunked on my poll. Nice.
Oh, lovely.
They came out of nowhere before I shut it off.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So 2 confirmed for me, 2 confirmed for you, and 3 debunked and 1 in the middle. Okay. So what are you thinking, Wookie?
I am going to say that it's a hoax. It's a scam. It's been perpetuated for over 100 years.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different things you could bring up that would be ample enough to, convince a lot of people that evolution's not really good. So I'm going with it. Yeah. It's a fucking hoax.
Okay, so that's 4 confirmed that it is a hoax, 3 debunked. And what say you, Abby?
The key word here is Smithsonian. So it's confirmed that this is bullshit.
Okay, confirmed it is a hoax. Alrighty, so that's 5 to 3 to 1. All right. What are you thinking, Cruel?
I smell shite. I definitely smell shite.
I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't help it, but yeah, I think there's just so much things to debunk this thing. So yeah, definitely, it's a load of shite, a hoax.
All right. Okay. I think we are. I was a little tardy. Okay. All right. Better real tardy than retardy. Anyway. All right. Okay.
Yes, by all means.
All right. Let me play it. Okay, so that is confirmed that we believe on this channel, and us on the panel and the chat are.
No.
We believe it's confirmed that it is a. Oh, no re. Okay. All right. We believe it's confirmed that it is indeed a hoax, and I think the people that went debunked probably thought that they were saying that evolution is debunked. So I believe, I choose to believe that our chat is smart enough that none of them's falling for this crap anymore, even though it's being taught to their kids as fact right now as we speak. Somewhere in the world, somebody is teaching this junk as fact.
That's the thing, isn't it? There's just so much stuff coming out now that is debunking anything and everything we've ever been taught about anything. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been in this like matrix for so long that I mean, I'm running into things every day that counter to what I was taught growing up.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm running into things every stinking day that's like counter to what I was taught as the gospel. Headphones are dead. Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. But I mean, like things like.
Well, there's many things out. There's many things out there that have a lot of people questioning its authenticity, like evolution, like other cultures that seem to vanished, like giants. like other structures that have been built, not necessarily Egyptian, but other structures around the world that have no explanation. And scientists try to explain it as that, okay, people with rocks and sticks made these stones that fit together so smoothly that you can't stick a freaking human hair in between the seam. So, what's that about? So you have a lot of that, and people are starting to think differently now, and they're starting to question a lot of stuff.
Well, you know what the current prevailing theory of why this advanced structures that are antediluvian that would have been around the time that they're trying to say Cro-Magnon walked the earth. You know what their explanation for that, right?
No,
Cro-Magnons were actually smarter than Homo sapiens. That's what they're trying to say now.
Is that because
that's where those Geico commercials came from?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's so easy at caveman.
Yeah, that's. And then the caveman's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm insulted by that. I know.
I'm offended and insulted. Oh my gosh.
It's like, you want some more pate?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you, for, gentlemen. Next week we are going to talk about Anton Scalia.
Antonin Scalia.
Antonin Scalia's death.
He went on vacation and had a long nap.
Yeah, a very, very long nap. And no autopsy afterwards, and rushed into burial.
Yeah.
Another one of
like
those.
No preamble.
Yeah, none of that stuff. Yeah, it was very, very fishy.
And then all of the awful stuff at the end of the Obama administration was rushed through the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah.
On the so, meanwhile they're trying to push Merrick Garland as becoming another Supreme Court justice.
Man, we dodged a massive bullet there. I'll tell you what. That guy.
Yeah. That guy. Anyway, so that's been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. I've been here with Abby Normal, who had some technical issues and decided to pop out. Mr. Crew Barab from Scotland, hanging out with us today. In the middle of the Smithsonian. Anyway. And Mr. Wookie Fever, who decided to wait all day to eat during our show.
Holy shit.
Well,
Yeah,
Can eat all day, can eat before, can eat after, but just decided to eat during the damn show. So,
well, I was respectful and I made sure to turn off my mic. So you didn't hear me going.
Well, if they are looking for the missing link, that guy right there. Anyway, all right. So thank you. All right, thank you for coming, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Time, same
Conspiracy. Bye, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
And,
Bye.
And we're out.